Hey everyone! Today's story revolves around a woman who was blindsided when her boyfriend quit his job without telling her and refused to find another one. Left to carry the entire financial burden while also managing school and work, she struggled to make ends meet. As tensions escalated, she found herself at a crossroads, questioning her relationship and her future. Let's dive into how she navigated this difficult situation and the steps she took to reclaim her life. Last year, my boyfriend, 33M, quit his job without telling me. I found out just 2 days before our rent was due. We always split everything 50-50, so when I asked him for his part, he casually mentioned that he had quit because he was tired of working at that place. Since then, I've been paying for everything: rent, food, gas, bills, and anything else we need. I even had to take on 2 jobs while attending school to make ends meet. It was tough, but I finally finished school a couple of months ago and landed my dream job. I now make enough to live comfortably, support my boyfriend, and still save money. However, I still want him to get a job to support himself because I believe that, as an adult, he needs to contribute. Unfortunately, he seems to rely on me too much and doesn't see the need to work since my job pays well. He often says things like, "You make good money now, so maybe you could buy me my dream car," or "You should open a business for me to run." This bothers me a lot. I wouldn't mind supporting my partner financially if there were a legitimate reason preventing him from working, but that's not the case. He spends most of his time playing video games, meeting up with friends, or just lounging at home watching movies. I still do all the chores and take care of our dogs. His family believes he's been working to take care of me so I could finish school, which is not true. Now they think I was able to complete my education and land a good job all because of him. I don't even want to explain the truth to them. I just want him to get a job and build a future for himself. When I tried to talk to him about this, he accused me of not being supportive and said that now that I have a good job, I'm looking down on him. I'm at a loss. Is it even worth trying to talk some sense into him? I don't want to start dating again at this age, but I also don't think I can keep doing this. Some people pointed out that I mistakenly wrote "quitted" instead of "quit," so I edited the post to correct that. Sorry for the mistake. English is my second language, and I still make errors here and there. Thank you for the correction. Wow, I didn't expect so many comments. I can't reply to everyone, but I've read them all and really appreciate the support. Many people asked why I stayed with him for so long and what I saw in him, so I'll answer that here. We started off normally, splitting everything 50-50, and I had no issues with that. But over the years, he began showing his true colors. I was in school, and my studies were the most important thing to me, so I invested all my time and energy into them. I was in a PhD program, receiving a stipend of about 30K a year, enough for me, but not for both of us. After he quit his job, I was incredibly stressed, but focused on surviving and finishing school. I didn't have time to think about my personal life or consider making any major changes. I also didn't want to deal with the guilt trips he often laid on me, so I just let things be. But now that I have a stable job, I've had time to think about my future, and I don't see myself with him long term. I know breaking up won't be easy. He won't let go that easily, but I'm starting to plan my way out. I might ask some friends for support. His name isn't on the lease, so I'll stay where I am, and he'll have to move out. It's been 2 months since I posted about my situation, and I wanted to give an update on how things went after that. Before I dive into the details, I just want to thank everyone for their support. Reading the comments on my original post helped me realize that I was doing the right thing. After I posted, I went home from work that day and asked a couple of friends to come over and wait in the parking lot while I sorted things out with my now ex-boyfriend. Before I could even start the conversation, he began talking about how his friend recently got a new car and how I should buy him one since I can afford it. That was the final straw. I told him he could have bought himself a car if he had been working and explained how stressful it had been for me to support us both. He launched into his usual, My life is miserable and you're not being supportive speech, but I was done. I told him it was over and that he needed to move out immediately. As expected, he got upset and threw a tantrum, yelling and throwing things. When he realized I was serious, he threatened to hurt my dogs. I jumped between him and the dogs to protect them, but he pushed me and grabbed me by the neck. I managed to get him off me, put the dogs in a safe room, and called my friends to come inside and call the police. He tried to hit me, but my friends arrived just in time. I think he got scared when he saw them and backed down, but he still threatened them. The police arrived and took him away, telling me he couldn't come back into the apartment without a police escort if he needed to get his things. It was a horrible experience, but it confirmed that I was doing the right thing by ending the relationship. I thought that was the end of it, but his aunt called me afterward, trying to gaslight me into thinking I was overreacting. She claimed he had done nothing wrong and that I was just upset. I reminded myself that I didn't have to deal with this anymore, told her to leave me alone, and hung up. His family continued to harass me, but they eventually stopped when I threatened to report them to the police. Since then, I've continued paying the rent and bills as I always have, but the difference is that I'm now much happier. I'm the happiest I've been in years. I even got a promotion at work last week and have been enjoying life with the extra money I have now that I'm no longer supporting a full-grown adult. As for my ex, he moved in with his aunt. I got a protection order, so we're not in contact at all. It's been a year since I called the police on my ex after he hurt me and threatened to harm my dogs. I hope no one else ever has to go through what I did, but if you're in a similar situation, I hope this post will help you realize that good things will come after you stand up for yourself. After my ex was taken by the police, his family harassed me for a while, but they eventually left me alone. I moved closer to my job, to a new place in a different city, about 30 minutes away from my old apartment. I took some time to heal, went on vacations by myself, and enjoyed the peace. I finally look forward to coming home and spending time with my dogs, one of whom, sadly, passed away from cancer a couple of months ago. About 6 months after the incident, I met someone new. He's a great person who treats me with love and respect, and I'm very happy. I've learned to set boundaries and expectations early on to avoid ending up in a similar situation again. As for my ex, I thought I was done with him, but yesterday I got a call from the prosecutor's office. They told me they would be pressing charges and asked if I would testify. I agreed, even though the thought of facing him in court is terrifying. While I've moved on, the memory of that day still haunts me, but I know he needs to be held accountable for his actions, especially after his aunt tried to blame me for everything. It sucks that I had to go through all this to end a toxic and abusive relationship, but I'm glad I got out safely. My life is so much better now, and I'm surrounded by people who truly love and appreciate me. Simple things, like my new boyfriend bringing me bubble tea and making dinner after a tough day at work, bring me so much joy. I can't believe that just over a year ago, I thought a day without an argument was a good day. Commenters overwhelmingly supported me in leaving and encouraged me to testify against my ex. Here's a sampling of those comments and my responses. Good for you for leaving that toxic situation. The same thing happened to me last year. I finally stood up for myself and ended the relationship. I'm glad you got out before things got worse. It's a very traumatizing experience, but therapy does help. I hope you have a good support system and are surrounded by people who care about you. You may want to reach out to the victim advocate and see if they have an emotional support dog for you when you testify. I'm planning to move to a new place soon, and I've already ordered a ring. It's been a while since my last update, and I wanted to share how things have progressed since then. The court proceedings were tough, but ultimately went well. My ex was found guilty of assault and making threats, and he received a restraining order. It was a long process, but I felt a sense of closure after the verdict. It was hard reliving everything in court, but the support from friends, family, and even strangers helped me get through it. In the aftermath, I've been focusing on my personal growth and well-being. I started therapy, which has been incredibly helpful in processing my experiences and moving forward. I've also been dedicating time to new hobbies and activities that bring me joy, like hiking and painting. It's amazing how healing it can be to explore new passions and reconnect with yourself after a traumatic experience. Work has been going well, and I've taken on more responsibilities that I enjoy. My relationship with my new partner has continued to grow, and we've been discussing future plans together. It's refreshing to be with someone who genuinely supports and respects me. We've been doing a lot of fun activities together, and he's been a huge source of emotional support. I've also been working on creating a more secure and comfortable living environment. I upgraded my home security system and made some home improvements that have made my space feel even more like a sanctuary. It's a small but significant way to regain a sense of control and safety. My experience has taught me a lot about resilience and the importance of setting boundaries. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned and the strength I've gained. While I wouldn't wish what I went through on anyone, I'm hopeful that sharing my story can offer support and encouragement to those facing similar situations. If anyone is struggling in a toxic or abusive relationship, please remember that there is help available, and it's okay to reach out for support. You deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, and there is hope for a better future. Thank you again to everyone who supported me and offered advice throughout this journey. Your words made a significant difference, and I'm deeply appreciative. I'm so proud of you for getting through this and finding strength in your journey. Your bravery is inspiring. Thank you so much for your kind words. It means a lot to hear that my story has resonated with others. I hope everyone going through something similar finds their own path to healing and happiness. What advice would you give someone who's in a similar situation but feels trapped and unsure of how to get out? I would suggest seeking support from trusted friends or family members and contacting local resources like domestic violence shelters or counseling services. It's important to have a safety plan and know that there are people who want to help. You're not alone, and there's strength in reaching out for support. I'll continue to update as things evolve, but for now, I'm focusing on building a positive and fulfilling life. Thanks again for all the support and encouragement.